Today, the world of missiles ranges from slim rockets fired by supersonic fighters to small handheld weapons steered by an operator and capable of knocking out a main battle tank. There are also largely automatic weapons which protect the biggest warships against air attacks, and cruise missiles, which are really pilotless bombers. Missiles are used by almost every Army, Navy, and Air Force. Nobody would go to war without them. This missile is TOW. It gets its name from the initial letters of two blanched, optically tracked, and wire-guided. It's the West's most important anti-tank missile, and there may well be more TOWs than any other missile in the world. Hughes Aircraft of California have delivered over 400,000 and will probably soon reach the 500,000 mark. TOW is a hefty missile, weighing about 45 pounds, but it can be used by infantry. Other TOWs are carried by jeeps, by the four-wheel drive Hummer cross-country vehicle, or by cargo trucks. Carried as the main anti-tank weapon of the Bradley infantry combat vehicle, it can also be mounted on the Cobra, S-76M helicopters, or the widely used Westland Lynx. All the operator has to do is acquire the target through a telescope which is bore-sighted exactly parallel to an optical sensor. In this combat footage sequence, shot through the operator's sight, the effectiveness of helicopter-launched TOW can be seen as the target is destroyed, even though it moves behind the hill. The missile is fired from its tube by a quick-burn rocket and coasts until it is far enough from the operator for the main rocket to ignite. At the same time, a bright light appears in the missile's tail, facing astern. As long as the operator keeps his sight on the target, the light is automatically kept exactly on course. Steering commands generated in the optical sensor are automatically transmitted along fine wires trailed behind the missile. Crosshairs in the telescope help the operator to aim correctly. The lower missile of these two is I-TOW, or improved TOW. This uses exactly the same launch equipment as standard TOW. It has an extensible nose probe which provides the optimum detonation distance between the shaped warhead and the enemy armor. I-TOW became operational in 1981. Today, the production version is TOW-2. This is a second-generation missile. It's rather heavier, with a new and more powerful warhead, more powerful flight motor, thermal beacon, and new night sight. TOW-2A, now coming into service, has tandem warheads to defeat reactive armor. TOW-2B for the 1990s flies over its target and fires its warhead downwards. Both versions can be used over extended ranges by day or night and from a wide range of launchers. TOW has counterparts made in Europe. These are gazelles, carrying 4 or 6 HOTs. The HOT gets its name from a French acronym meaning high subsonic speed, optically guided, and two blanched. Each HOT weighs 50 pounds. Like TOW, HOT spins for flight stability as it pays out the fine guidance wires. Again, the operator sights the crosshairs of his magnifying optics on the target. Here, HOT training is taking place on a range. The operator quickly learns how to master the missile control panel with its joystick controller. Then, he can put 5 missiles through the same hole in the target. HOT fits on various land vehicles, such as the casemate system with auto-reloading on West Germany's Jaguar tank destroyer, or the UTM-800 on Panhard armored cars, or the Lancelot turret of the French AMX-10P. One of the cheapest and simplest anti-armor missiles is the Swedish Carl Gustaf. This simple and robust handheld system fires an 84mm rocket. It is in service with over 40 armies and has been combat proven. Carl Gustaf was originally just an anti-tank weapon. Today, it exists in various forms which can fire different kinds of projectile. The biggest round is the HEAT, high-explosive anti-tank. Others include high-explosive, smoke, flare, and practice warheads. Though the HEAT round weighs only 7 pounds, it can destroy a main battle tank. It rides in the barrel on a ring of Teflon to reduce the rapid spin imparted by the rifling, seen here inside the bore. Here, an engagement between a Carl Gustaf team and a tank is seen from both the infantryman's and the doomed tank's point of view. Probably the most numerous European tactical missile is Milan. This is made by the same team as HOT, Aerospatiale of France and NBB of West Germany. A firing post can be set up by 2 men in a few seconds. One carries the firing post and the other 2 missile tubes. When the post is ready, a tube is locked on in a simple rear-to-front push action. This makes the electrical connection. The operator can then sight and fire. The missile weighs 14.8 pounds. Like HOT, it uses automatic infrared tracking and wire guidance. These examples of armor show the holes made through the entire assembly by the jets from the Milan's shaped charges warhead. Milan gained a good reputation with the British Army in the Falklands. One of the major problems with designing a portable anti-tank missile system for use by infantry is keeping the weight down. The design of armor has become more sophisticated. The warhead large enough to tackle the thick frontal defenses of a modern battle tank can be unacceptably heavy. As in this case, infantry often have to wait until the tanks have passed through their position. Now they can tackle the lighter side and back armor. Therefore, some designers have reasoned that it makes sense to attack the thinner armor on top of a tank. The Swedish RBS-56 Bill flies just over the top of its target, and the shaped charge fires diagonally downwards. Bill weighs 23.6 pounds and is another line of sight weapon. The result of a hit on a fully armed tank is spectacular.
Look into the sleek design of the Sterling 827 SLI, luxuriously appointed with handcrafted wood, rich in supple Connolly leather. And right now, a Sterling 827 SLI is a most prudent investment. British performance and athletic handling with the finest, most affordable financing starting at 0%. Or lease a Sterling SLI with maintenance included at no charge. No matter how you look at it, it's time to see what it's like to drive a Sterling SLI.
Oh, L-E-S-T-L-E-S, Nestle's makes the very best.
Quick, I need something chocolatey. Nestle's quick, and it's gotta be something from Nestle's. Nestle's makes the very best. Sweet dreams are made of this. Alpine White's the very best. When it crunches, that's why I love Nestle Crunch.
And I love those morsels.
Dollhouse, it's good to be home. N-E-S-T-L-E-S. Catch some raisinets. Sweet dreams are made when it catch some raisinets. N-E-S-T-L-E-S. Nestle's makes the very best.
Young.
Low slung.
High performance
They're truly classic cars.
and very famous racers.
Fuel injected,
Or four-wheel drive
supercharged,
and overpriced.
or reliable transportation.
Or exotic toys.
Even the most conservative.
Go wild about wheels.
Wednesdays at 8 Eastern, only on the Discovery Channel.
Buying Christmas presents for my boyfriend is one of the most impossible things ever.
I can't even think of anything that's new or different or will please him.
Catch this. It's Sports Illustrated's most exciting Christmas gift ever, the football phone. Free with a paid subscription to SI.
I would love something like this for Christmas.
The football phone works like a regular phone. It plugs into a standard jack and has push-button dialing, on-off ringer, mute button, and automatic redial.
I hope she orders that for Christmas for me.
And the football phone is free.
That's even better. And I don't have to go shopping for it, I hope. What do I have to do to get this?
It's free if you get Sports Illustrated at their biggest Christmas savings ever. A year subscription at almost 65% off the cover price. You can be billed after the new year, or you can use your credit card today.
I'll buy it for my father, my brother, and my boyfriend.
You only pay 99 cents an issue, and the subscription includes all the previews in the swimsuit issue.
Sports Illustrated. I should have thought of that a long time ago.
So, Mom, if you're watching, please, for once.
Don't wait. Call our toll-free number now and get Sports Illustrated at their biggest Christmas savings ever, and get the football phone free.
I want this phone.
Every modern army has to be protected against air attack, and it must take its protection with it, right up with the leading combat units. The British company specializing in infantry anti-aircraft missiles is Shorts, whose weapons have lots of combat experience. Blowpipe has now been developed into Javelin. This does not have to be steered. Instead, Javelin is another semi-automatic to line-of-sight weapon. The operator holds the bright aiming mark on the target, and a TV camera in the aiming unit senses bright flares on the missile hand, generates corrective signals. Missile tubes can be loaded, fired, and reloaded in seconds. Here, Javelin support is brought up in an armored personnel carrier. One version uses a lightweight multiple launcher which can fire 3 rounds in rapid succession. Here, there is just one target, a hostile helicopter. The operator gets it in his magnifying sight and puts the aiming pipper squarely on it, using his thumb control to keep the target centered until destroyed. As this animated sequence shows, the missile starts spinning for flight stability as it leaves the tube, and the fin tips snap open. In slow motion, the firing sequence starts as the gas pressure generated by the rocket-driven gyro blows the cap off the end of the tube. Then the rear closure is blown off by the launch of the missile. The rapid burn first stage motor pops the missile from its tube. At a safe distance from the launcher, the cruise motor fires. This takes the missile to its target at supersonic speed out to distances exceeding 2.5 miles. Any airborne assault force, such as this troop being airlanded from Puma helicopters, has to have air defense. Few systems are as light and compact as Javelin, which in its shoulder-fired version weighs only about 22 pounds. Javelin and blowpipe have the advantage of being battle-proven, but the maker, Shorts, now has an even newer missile, Starstreak, described later. This is tracked Rapier, on the march with 8 missiles ready to fire on an M548 armored launcher. It is just one of many versions of the British Rapier anti-aircraft missile system in service round the world. Rapier weighs 94 pounds and flies at Mach 2 to engage targets up to 4 miles away. A special feature of the missile is that it is designed to be so accurate that it pierces the target, the warhead exploding inside the enemy aircraft. In one version, the human operator could wear a Ferranti helmet-mounted sight. This is slaved to the sight line to the target. Once a target is spotted, it can be designated by pressing a button. A servo system instantly slews and elevates the 8 missiles to point at the target. Some versions of Rapier use command guidance to the line of sight, while other versions upgrade the basic system with radars, thermal infrared, and laser systems to give instant engagement, even at night or in bad weather. The latest version is Rapier 2000, now under development against a £1 billion contract for service from about 1994. Much older and less effective than Rapier is the U.S. Army's equivalent, Chaparral. This is based on the Navy's AIM-9D Sidewinder air-to-air missile, modified for use from land launches such as this turret on an M730 tracked vehicle. Four missiles are carried on the rotating turret, which in this case is towed behind a cross-country vehicle. The much lighter M54 ground-emplaced version can be airlifted by a Chinook helicopter. Normally, the operator has to detect targets, slew and elevate the missiles, and ensure that the homing head of the missile selected is locked onto that target before firing. Thereafter, the infrared homing head in the nose of the missile steers it automatically onto its target. A forward-looking infrared thermal imaging device can be added to improve night or bad weather operation. Starstreak, here mounted on the Alvis Stormer, carrying 8 rounds ready to fire with 12 reloads, is the newest and most advanced surface-to-air missile in the world. The missile accelerates to twice the speed of a bullet, and its unique feature is the 3 metal darts which spread out, holding formation until they hit the target. Starstreak can also be mounted on a helicopter. There is a lightweight naval launcher, and also a one-man version for firing from the shoulder. The 3 dense metal darts each have a separate warhead, and they ride a guidance beam to the target. Their spread significantly increasing the chance of a direct hit. Another advanced technology system is ADATS. The name comes from Air Defense Anti-Tank System, and it's the first missile in the world designed to be equally good at destroying both types of target. Here, ADATS is mounted on an M113 chassis. The unmanned turret carries 2 quad-launch tubes, a surveillance radar, an infrared tracker, a TV, a laser rangefinder, and a laser guidance sensor. The operator detects targets on the display of the Contrave surveillance radar, which can track up to 10 targets simultaneously. On detection of a target, it is handed off to a passive tracking system, either the TV or the thermal imaging infrared. When the target comes within range, a missile is fired and flies up the guidance beam from a coded carbon dioxide laser. In this case, the target was a QF-86 Sabre. Here, we have a tank in the crosshairs of the optical sight. While a blast fragmentation warhead is used against aircraft, detonated by a proximity fuse, for use against tanks, a shaped charge is also provided, detonated by impact. Missile speed is over Mach 3. Armor penetration is exceptional, as witness these test slabs pierced by the shaped charge. This side view shows the penetration recorded by an ultra-fast camera.
Survival, Tuesdays at 8 Eastern on the Discovery Channel.
You ever do anything? I asked you.
She's always nagging me. Put out the garbage, fix the roof, check the batteries in the flashlight. It's always something. Check the batteries in the flashlight. Okay. I'm dead.
Yet another reason why Duracell has introduced the copper top tester, a gauge that tells you if a battery is good or needs to be replaced.
I'm dead.
The new copper top tester. It's free, only from Duracell.
Remember me? I'm the chap that told you about the Brita water filter system. You know, the pitcher with a filter that removes that metallic taste and a nasty chlorine flavor from your tap water. Well, now I'm here to remind you, it's holiday season, and therefore, time for giving thoughtful gifts like Brita. It's perfect for all your friends and relatives because Brita water is better water. And you never know when you'll be at their house having to drink their water. Besides, Brita makes a perfect stocking stuffer.
For decades, they've roamed the vast reaches of Australia's rugged outback, running wild and free, like outlaws on the wind. But now their increasing numbers could spell disaster for Australia's fragile wildlife. In an exclusive U.S. television premiere, the Discovery Channel launches its most ambitious commitment ever to original programming. Don't miss The Wild Horses of Australia, premiering Monday at 9 Eastern, only on the Discovery Channel.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just one dose of Pepto-Bismol helps relieve an upset stomach. The one that coats is the only one you need.
Life, take one.
I do.
You only get one take in life. Take Sony Handycam, the world's smallest camcorders for life's biggest moments.
The original, the shower massage by Teledyne Waterpick.
Probably the only completely developed anti-tank helicopter outside the Soviet Union, the McDonnell Douglas AH-64 Apache can carry 16 of the powerful Hellfire missile. Made by Rockwell, Hellfire weighs a little more than 100 pounds and homes on laser light reflected from a target illuminated by a laser designator used by frontline troops or by the laser of the Apache itself. A version of Hellfire is also being developed with imaging infrared or combined infrared and radar homing. This modular system, especially on the Apache, can satisfy a wide range of defense requirements. Hellfire can also be carried on the UH-60A Blackhawk, up to 16 being carried on the external stores support system. Another possible carrier is the AH-58D Warrior helicopter with its mast-mounted laser designator. But this program is under threat following congressional refusal of funds in 1989. Most numerous and important of all Western tactical air-to-ground missiles is Maverick. More than 50,000 have been produced by Hughes Aircraft. Raytheon has come in as a second source producer of one particular version. The original AGM-65A is guided by a human operator who sees the target as viewed by a TV camera in the missile's nose. From the start, Maverick has been a precision missile, and the Thunderbolt II is just one of 13 types of aircraft from which it can be launched. AGM-65B has improved optics. AGM-65C and E are the laser Mavericks, the E version having a big 300-pound blast fragmentation warhead. These versions home automatically on laser light reflected or scattered from the target. And where the laser designator is ground-mounted, they allow the aircraft to fire and forget, turning away to avoid the target's defenses. Such missiles essentially cannot miss. Mavericks can also be fired and guided by F-111Fs, fitted with the PAVE-TAC sensor under the belly. Raytheon also make the AGM-65D and G, which have an imaging infrared guidance seeker, while AGM-65F is the Navy anti-ship version with infrared guidance incorporating anti-ship logic circuits. Early versions of the Maverick weigh 450 pounds and have a shaped charge warhead for piercing armor or concrete fortifications. The various models can be selected for particular operational situations and types of target. Early experience with American anti-radar missiles was poor, but much better results have been achieved with AGM-88 HARM, the high-speed anti-radiation missile which was developed by Texas Instruments and the U.S. Naval Air Systems Command and Naval Weapons Center. Great efforts have been made to achieve a really reliable weapon which can be launched over the horizon or in quick reaction against all kinds of hostile radar. Among the aircraft deploying HARM are the Navy's EA-6B and A-6E, and the Air Force's F-4G Advanced Wild Weasels and the F-15E. The missile is continually being improved to keep it abreast of increasing hostile threats. HARM weighs a little over 800 pounds and has a maximum range of 15 miles. The guidance section has a broadband radar frequency receiver which allows each missile to detect and destroy virtually any kind of radar. Another advanced feature is a digital autopilot. During a confrontation with Libya in the Gulf of Sidra in 1986, several HARMs were fired at missile guidance radars. As seen here, HARM often actually hits the target antenna. Of all the West's air-to-air missiles, none can even come close to the capabilities of AIM-54 Phoenix. This is despite the fact that it is quite an old missile, which Hughes aircraft have been updating continuously. This is the latest AIM-54C version, which was flight tested from 1979 to 1985. Phoenix is bigger than any other non-Soviet air-to-air missile, with a launch weight of just over 1,000 pounds. It was the first air-to-air missile in service with its own active radar seeker in the nose. Phoenix can fly over 80 miles towards the target, using a strap-down inertial reference and digital autopilot. Then it switches on its radar and homes unerringly on the selected target. The missile is carried only by the F-14A and F-14D Tomcat interceptors. By far the most numerous air-to-air missile outside the Soviet Union is the AIM-9 Sidewinder. First developed on a shoestring budget more than 35 years ago, Sidewinder has progressed through many versions, carried by almost every Western combat aircraft. All have a body like a length of 5-inch pipe. The guidance sections, however, are visibly different. Here, An AIM-9P goes on an F-5E launching rail. Another family was started by the AIM-9L, here seen carried by an F-14A. This series has long-span pointed control fins. The 9L version introduced a more powerful annular blast fragmentation warhead with an improved fuse. This is what it can do to a QF-102 target drone. By far the most important Western air-to-air missile is AMRAAM.
Roger. Switch assigned departure control frequency. You're cleared for takeoff.
Designated AIM-120A, AMRAAM has self-contained inertial and active radar guidance. Unlike the older Sparrow, it does not demand that the launch aircraft should keep flying towards the enemy, illuminating it with radar energy. AMRAAM's own radar makes it a fire-and-forget weapon. It flies here on the F-16. It also flies on the F-15 and F-18 aircraft. It will equip almost all Western fighters, including Britain's Tornado and Sea Harrier. Another complete change of scene takes us to the U.S. Navy's Harpoon. Designated RGM-84A, the Harpoon is a miniature aircraft powered by a turbojet engine. Complete with a tandem rocket booster that shoots it out of its canister or tube launcher, Harpoon weighs just over 1,500 pounds. It was developed by McDonnell Douglas to meet a U.S. Navy need for a precision weapon with over-the-horizon range exceeding 50 nautical miles, able to be used day or night in any kind of weather. Harpoon can be fired from submarines. It can be fired from surface warships. In the AGM-84 version, it can be dropped from aircraft. The missile drops down very close above the wave tops, skimming the sea controlled by a radar altimeter. Near its target, it switches on its active search radar. It has waypoint capability, enabling it to change course during flight. This also enables it to approach its target from any chosen bearing line, or for one launch platform to fire two missiles, which will then approach the same target from different directions. Harpoon can be programmed to fly around an intervening landmass. In the final seconds nearing the target, Harpoon can execute a pop-up maneuver and dive on the target from above, or carry out evasive action to defeat the target's defenses. It is now carried on a wide variety of U.S. Navy vessels, ranging from battleships to patrol craft, and is in service with 15 other navies. The French equivalent of Harpoon is Exocet. Produced by Aerospatiale, this missile became notorious during the Falklands campaign, when several British ships were crippled by the air-launched version. There are also shipborne and submarine-launched variants. Exocet is rocket-propelled with a range of 26 miles. At launch, the missile curves up and around onto the desired target heading. It then descends until it is just above the sea, kept on course by an inertial guidance platform and radar altimeter. When the target is only about 6 miles away, the ADAC active radar in the nose is switched on, and this starts sweeping an arc ahead, looking for the target. When it finds the target, it locks on and steers the missile to hit it at the optimum height above the waterline. MM-40 is a version with a bigger motor, giving slightly longer range. SM-39 is a submarine-launched version fired in a special container from the sub's torpedo tubes.
Look into a Sterling motor car, luxuriously appointed with handcrafted wood, rich in supple Connolly leather. And right now, a Sterling is a most prudent investment. Decidedly British luxury and performance with the finest, most affordable financing, starting at 0%. Or lease a Sterling with maintenance included at no charge. No matter how you look at it, it's time to see what it's like to drive a Sterling.
The motion picture Dances with Wolves, starring Kevin Costner, is the remarkable story of one man and the American West that he discovers. Now, Orion Pictures and the Discovery Channel invite you to embark on a frontier experience of your own with the Quest for America's Frontier sweepstakes. You'll journey to historic Santa Fe, New Mexico, and discover the legacy of a great civilization. Explore the Anasazi cliff dwellings, the Taos Pueblo, and experience Native American culture firsthand. Expand your horizons. Print your name, address, phone number, age, and the name of your cable company on a postcard, and send it to the Discovery Channel. Quest for America's Frontier Sweepstakes, P.O. Box 14305, Baltimore, Maryland, 21268. The Quest for America's Frontier, an experience of discovery you'll never forget.
Nature's newborn, fragile and innocent. Join Doug McConnell for an intimate look into the world of baby animals on Wild Things, Monday night at 11 Eastern, only on the Discovery Channel.
I'm Morris Jones. See the awesome fury of nature unleashed. Tornadoes, volcanoes, and hurricanes wreak havoc on the human psyche. Join me next time on Survival.
Tuesday at 8 Eastern, only on the Discovery Channel.
Do you have thinning hair? Well, listen to what customers have to say about the world's leading formula to give you thicker, fuller-looking hair, results they once thought were impossible.
I was very skeptical, but I'm not now.
And in 3 months, I could see the difference in it.
It's the only one that I found that really, really works on the majority of the people. I don't have to push the hair into place and make it something it isn't.
It really works.
It works for me, it works for my customers, and I wouldn't want to be without it.
I have found an answer.
Will the new generation system for thinning hair work as well for you? There's only one way to find out. Order now, and if you're not completely satisfied with the results, you'll get your money back.
To order, call 1-800-257-1400 and get a full 3-month supply of New Generation, the doctor-developed, laboratory-tested system for thinning hair. So call 1-800-257-1400. That's 1-800-257-1400. Order now.
The British aerospace Seawolf can outperform any other close-range air defense missile. It has repeatedly demonstrated its ability to destroy not only all kinds of aircraft, but also small supersonic missiles, and even shells fired from 4.5-inch guns. A rapid rate of fire can be sustained. The original installations using this 6-box launcher. As seen here in San Carlos water, this form of Seawolf was battle-proven in the Falklands campaign in 1982. A later version uses a 4-barrel launcher, weighing only 2.5 tons. And a bigger advance, triggered by much earlier Soviet developments, is the vertical launch Seawolf, with groups of 8 missiles sealed into vertical canisters. The U.S. Navy has also adopted the vertical launch version, but as part of the large and complex Aegis system. This is installed in the Ticonderoga class of large missile cruisers. It's the chief air defense system for the period up to at least 2010, and is designed for automatic destruction of aircraft, cruise missiles, and missile launcher platforms. It was initially tested against such easy targets as the QF-4B Phantom, the BQM-34 Firebee, and the QF-86 Sabre. The Aegis system has naturally been designed to function in an environment of severe electronic countermeasures. The system is based around the General Dynamics Standard SM-2 missile. This is fired by a large tandem rocket booster and then uses an internal rocket sustainer to reach targets out to about 34 miles.
Jet Man Battle Stations missile.
Battle Station's missile.
Now the scene moves below the waves.
Battle Station's missile.
This is the world of the Fleet Ballistic Missile Submarine. First deployed in 1960 by the U.S. Navy with the Polaris missile, it has since progressed through the Poseidon to today's Trident C4 and much bigger Trident D5.
Man Battle Station's missile for WSRT. Spin up all missiles.
Both versions of Trident are more compact than their predecessors, in that they make full use of the space in the submarine launch tube. Trident C4 has a range of some 4,600 miles, and the D5 a range of 7,500. All these missiles carry multiple independently targeted warheads. At first glance, this might look like a submarine-launched ballistic missile. But in fact, it unfolds wings, a tail, and an air inlet for a turbofan engine. It's the submarine-launched version of Tomahawk, designated BGM-109. Launched inside a stainless steel capsule from a normal torpedo tube, Tomahawk converts itself into a miniature pilotless bomber. It can fly several hundred miles, using a modified version of the Harpoon guidance radar to sweep out the sea ahead, detect targets, pick out the most important, and home on it with deadly accuracy. There are many versions of Tomahawk. BGM-109 can also be fired from surface warships, usually from an armored box launcher. The tactical land attack version can be fired from surface ships or submarines. This version has terrain comparison guidance, which measures the gradient profiles of the land over which it is flying. The resulting accuracy is about 230 feet after flying 800 miles, the full range being 1,550 miles. Each missile flies at about 550 miles per hour, but is so small that it is difficult to detect and extremely difficult to shoot down. The tactical land attack version can carry various warheads. This is distributing multiple bomblets. An alternative is a single so-called unitary warhead, which can be conventional or nuclear. Here, a concrete building is demolished after a 400-mile flight from a submarine launch.
Brought to you in part by VTech.
Got a new friend, bright as could be, goes by the name of Socrates. He can teach me math, spelling and art, word games too, he's really smart. Socrates makes learning a game when you play with him. He'll entertain your brain.
Socrates, the computer-like educational video system that turns learning into child's play.
When you play with Socrates, he'll entertain your brain.
Who's presenting tomorrow anyway?
The face.
Uh-oh.
Face. Somebody better make the type bigger.
By bit, putting it together.
You think you could use my latest PR photo?
Are we scanning in his latest PR photo?
Every moment makes a contribution. Every detail plays a part. Just the vision's no solution. It all depends on execution.
Precise. They've been very precise.
Look at the money.
This is actually not bad at all.
They're smiling.
They're sold.
For documents that cut through, motivate, and persuade, nobody puts it together like Xerox.
Good morning. Welcome. Turn to the map.
You gotta admit, He is good looking.
Printing, copying, scanning, publishing. Xerox, the document company.
An afternoon of playing grandparent can take quite a lot out of you. Magnesium, for example, vitamin B6, vitamin C, and valuable potassium. As nature would have it, replacing all of them is as simple as eating one Chiquita banana. In the case of twins, however, you might want to try two. Chiquita, quite possibly the world's perfect food.
On the next Discovery Sunday, for little people everywhere, it's a big problem, coping with life in a land of giants. Don't miss the cable premiere of Little People at 9 Eastern. Then at 10, as more and more animals become endangered, will the zoos of today become the Noah's Arks of tomorrow? Join us for the U.S. television premiere of Who Belongs in the Zoo, next week beginning at 9 Eastern, only on Discovery Sunday.
Unlike the Soviet Union, the West has very few long-range missiles. Britain does not have any that are land-based, and even the U.S. had purchased none between 1963 and the mid-1980s, when Peacekeeper began to go into service. Originally called MX, this missile is now designated MGM-118. Assembly takes place at the Martin Marietta Company. Each missile is just over 70 feet long and weighs 195,000 pounds. It can deliver 10 independently targeted warheads up to 5,000 miles away. After much argument, Congress permitted the deployment of 50 peacekeepers, and these have been installed in rebuilt silos, which previously housed Minuteman missiles. It's also possible that some will be based on railway trains, an obvious idea originally suggested for Minuteman in 1959, but never put into effect. Though it fires relatively simple, unguided rockets, the MLRS, standing for Multiple Launch Rocket System, promises to make a big difference to the tactical firepower of some Western armies. The system is American, but some will be produced by a group of companies in Europe. The rockets are launched from this self-propelled launcher loader, based on the Bradley armored vehicle. It incorporates its own precision navigation system, so there is no need to survey the site where it parks. Instead, rockets can be fired at once, their starting point being known with great accuracy. The fire control computer is used to align the launcher box to the desired direction and elevate it to achieve the desired range, which can exceed 19 miles. Aiming and firing are under the control of the human gunner, but normally all calculations are made by the computer, which accepts almost any language. Rockets can be fired singly or rippled in rapid succession, up to the maximum of 12 carried by the launcher. Reloading the two 6-round containers is very rapid. The basic rocket payload comprises 644 of the M77 submunitions, as opposed to 88 submunitions in the new 155mm artillery shell. These deadly bomblets scatter over an area of some 60 acres. Other warheads are now coming into production. One strews mines in the path of advancing armor, forcing them onto ground of your choice. Another carries terminally guided weapons, each of which can home individually onto a tank. The MLRS is designed to complement artillery and to engage enemy formations on an area basis. Its accuracy compares with a 155mm gun, but it has significantly more range, and one launcher can sustain 10 times the firepower. Modern weapons have awesome power. Any future war would mean Armageddon for us all.